This relaxed, grounding practice is about 40 minutes in length. It's gentle and slow enough that you can do it before bedtime or to wake up in the morning. We'll start out by coming onto the back, hugging the knees into the chest. Breathing here, closing the eyes, starting to focus on the inhales and exhales, deepening the breath, trying to take the inhales and exhales to an even length, maybe thinking of a count of 4 or a count of 6. Slowing down the breath, feeling the chest rise with the inhale and sink in with the exhale. We'll get ready to take a few circles with the knees, pressing the knees together away from the chest over to the left side several times, taking as small or as large of circles as you'd like, just starting to warm up the low back and the hips. Making sure to get into both sides, we'll reverse, going back over to the left, then to the right, back into the chest, taking these circles a few more times. Hugging both knees into the chest, breathing deep, continuing to feel the chest rise with the inhale. We'll exhale to take the left leg down the length of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale to bring it back into the chest, taking the hands to the left knee on the inhale. Exhale, right leg comes down the mat. Inhale to let it land. Exhale, bringing it back into the chest. Switching one more time. On each side, left leg down, back to the chest, and right leg down. Exhale, back into the chest with both knees. We'll plant the feet down below the hips, taking the arms out to the sides. Feet can come a bit wider than hip width, letting the knees relax to both sides, gently, slowly, at your own pace. And when we're even on both sides, we'll take the knees up into the chest, rocking forward to a seated position. Can cross the legs, making sure we're in a comfortable seat. Hands can come out to the knees or in the lap, spine tall. Taking the inhale up the spine to the crown of the head, and the exhale down to the base of the spine. We'll take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Intention can be a word or a phrase, something that you'd like to take with you through your whole practice. Maybe it's just letting go of anything that happened earlier today, earlier this week, anything in the past, or maybe it's just trying to stay in the present, staying with the breath. You can bow your head to your chest to seal in your intention. And we'll spin over to the side. Comfortable tall seat, we'll inhale, raising up the left arm up and over the head. Exhale, bringing it back down, coming back to the center. Inhale to raise up the right arm, opening up the side. Exhale, coming back down. Spinning around to face the front, we'll come on to hands and knees. And exhale to relax the hips back to the heels. Breathing here, focusing on the breath. Relaxing the body into the mat, feeling the body heavy. This is your time, your practice. There's nothing else that's important right now. Starting to wake up the arms. We'll pick the elbows up off the mat. Fingers spread wide, hands pressing into the ground. We'll inhale to move shoulders above the wrists, hips above knees, belly dropping, opening up the chest for a cow pose. Exhale, coming back to a child's pose. Inhale, forwards to cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale, rounding for cat, tucking tailbone and chin. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forwards to cow. Exhale, rounding for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. We'll inhale again, moving forwards to cow. Exhale, round for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forwards to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And this time, tucking the toes, we'll press the hips back to a down dog. Chest pressing back towards the thighs. We can leave the heels off the mat, bending into the knees, pedaling the feet. On your next exhale, pressing back evenly through both hips, both heels, taking a breath. And on the inhale, bringing the knees back down to the ground, chest forwards for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forwards to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale, tucking the toes, hips back to a down dog. You can pedal the feet again if you'd like, or we can leave the hips still. Every exhale, thinking of pressing the chest back, tipping the hips forwards, opening up the hamstrings. Bending the knees as much as you'd like. Heels don't have to be on the ground. Continuing to focus on the inhales and exhales. On your inhale, we'll step up to the top of the mat, feet hip-width apart, exhaling into a forward fold. Crossing the arms, letting the head and shoulders hang. We'll nod the head yes, and shake it no. Relaxing the jaw and the throat. Exhale, takes the arms back down towards the ground. Inhale, coming up to a half lift, spine straight out from the hips, hands to knees or shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, slight bend in the knees, raising all the way up, arms through the sides of the body and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold, planting the hands. We'll step back to a plank or a kneeling plank. Exhale, lowering down. Hands ahead of shoulders, low cobra. Exhale, hands around the ribs, pressing up to a down dog. Breathing here. After your exhale, taking the gaze up to the top of the mat between the hands, we'll step up, coming to a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, raising all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale to raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold, planting the hands. We can step or hop back, coming into a plank or kneeling plank. Exhale to lower down to the ground. Taking fingertips wide, chest open, inhaling up to low cobra. Exhale, hands around the rib cage, back to a down dog. Breathing here, staying with the even breath. After your exhale, we'll inhale, gaze up to the top of the mat, stepping forward, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raising all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raising the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, this time planting the hands, stepping back with the right leg, runner's lunge. Exhale, dropping the back knee onto the ground. Inhale, hands up to the left knee, raising up, low lunge, breathing into the front of the right hip. After your inhale, we'll exhale, hands come down around the front foot, inhale, back knee off the ground, and exhale to step back and lower down, vinyasa, all the way down to low cobra, and exhale back to down dog. Taking 2 breaths here. After your exhale, we'll inhale, gaze up to the top of the mat, coming forwards to a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to raise all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to raise. Exhale to fold. Planting the hands, stepping back with the left leg. Runner's lunge, same thing, only on the other side. Exhale, dropping the left knee down onto the ground. Inhale, hands up to the right knee. Coming up to low lunge, breathing into the front of the left hip. After your inhale, we'll exhale, hands down on either side of the front foot. Inhale, back knee off the ground. Exhale to step back and lower down, vinyasa. Coming back to a down dog. Taking 2 breaths here. After your second exhale, we'll inhale, knees down to the ground, leaving the left arm out in front. We'll thread the right arm under the left shoulder, threading the needle, hips back to the heels. Taking a few deep breaths here. Feeling the stretch in the outside of the right shoulder, underside of the left shoulder. On your inhale, switching sides, right arm out in front, left arm underneath the right shoulder. After your exhale, we'll inhale to stretch the left arm back out in front. Coming to a child's pose, taking a breath, taking the inhales up to the crown of the head, exhales down to the base of the spine, centering the breath. After your exhale, we'll start to liven up the arms, fingers wide, palms to the ground. Inhale, shoulders above wrists, hips above knees, keeping the shoulders and the hips level, core engaged. We'll inhale to take the right arm out in front to shoulder height, balancing hips. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Exhale, down to the ground. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. Incorporating the opposite leg with the arms, only if you'd like. Right arm, left leg. Exhale, down. Left arm, right leg. Exhale, back down. One more time on each side. And we'll land the left hand, right knee back to the ground. Tucking the toes, pressing the hips back to a down dog. Breathing here. After your exhale, inhale, gaze comes up to the top of the mat. Step or hopping up to a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take the feet and legs, pressing in together. Inhale, raising up the arms. Exhale, hips back to a chair pose, making sure the knees don't go ahead of the toes. Hands can come to heart center if the shoulders aren't comfortable with the hands overhead. After your exhale, we'll inhale, raising back up, hands overhead, stepping back with the right leg, opening up to the side, toes in front of the heels. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing here, relaxing the jaw. Can cross the arms, letting head and shoulders hang. And taking a few deep breaths, letting the weight tip towards the ball of the foot, making sure the knees aren't locked. You can take a slight bend in the knees if you'd like. On your exhale, hands can come back down to the ground. Inhale up to a half lift, planting the right hand below the face, opening up the left arm towards the ceiling, thinking of stacking the arms, thinking of raising up and out of the bottom shoulder, arms long. On your exhale, taking that top hand back down onto the ground, forward fold, taking a breath. Inhale, coming back up to a half lift, planting the left hand below the face and opening up to the right arm. If it's more comfortable, we can take the hand down to the hip and just work on rolling the shoulder open. After your inhale, exhale to fold, taking a breath. We'll inhale to come back up to a half lift, interlacing the fingers behind the hips. You can grab onto a towel or a sock if you'd like, to take the distance between the hands a little bit wider. letting the shoulders and the chest go. After your exhale, we'll inhale back up to a half lift. Taking the hands down, we'll come down into a seated wide leg straddle. Taking the legs out to the sides, toes pointed up. Hands behind the hips, bringing the spine tall. If you'd like, we can take hands to the inside of the knees, working on pulling the chest forwards and coming a little deeper. Hinging from the hips. And we'll inhale to come back up, taking the sole of the right foot into the inside of the left thigh, twisting so that the chest faces the knee. We'll walk the hands down on either side of the leg, maybe underneath the knee, down to the calf, maybe to the foot. Only moving as far as is comfortable, doing what feels good today. If you just woke up, this might not feel okay. Go ahead and leave the hands at the knee. On your inhale, we'll walk the hands back up, switching sides, left foot into the right thigh, chest towards the right knee. Exhale to walk the hands down on either side of the leg. Continuing to breathe. Taking your version of the pose. This side might be different than the other side. Staying with the breath. After your exhale, we'll inhale to walk the hands back up the leg. Coming into a seated position, we'll spin around to face the front. Crossing the legs, we'll roll over the shins, coming into hands and knees, and tuck the toes back to down dog. Taking a breath. After your exhale, we'll inhale to raise the right leg up to a three-legged dog, taking it just straight back from the hips. Exhale, hugging the knee up into the chest. Shoulders can come ahead of the wrists. Inhale to raise. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale up. And exhale back to down dog. Left leg this time. Inhale, raising up the leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale to raise. Exhale, knee to chest. We'll inhale back up. Exhale, down dog, taking a breath. On your next inhale, we'll come up to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to raise all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to raise the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold, planting the hands. We'll step back with the right leg, runner's lunge. Exhale, back knee down onto the ground. Inhale, arms up around the ears, breathing here. And exhale, coming into a twist. We'll take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand can come behind the hip, opening up the chest to the back. Gaze can follow the left shoulder. After your exhale, inhale, arms raise. Exhale, hands down on the ground. Walking the hands back, we'll leave the back knee planted, stretching out over the front leg, trying to bring the left leg towards straight, toes tipped up towards the ceiling, extending the hips back towards the heel. Inhale, walking the hands forward, planting the right hand inside the left foot. We can open up the arms straight up towards the ceiling if you'd like, or if you'd prefer, we can take the right hand out to the side, bending in to the right knee. We'll reach back with the left hand for the toe. After your exhale, we'll inhale to raise the hand back up and set down, both hands on either side of the front foot, coming back to a down dog. Breathing here. After your exhale, we'll inhale, coming back up to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to raise all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to raise, other side. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold, planting the hands. Stepping back with the left leg, runner's lunge. Exhale, back knee comes down onto the ground. Inhale, arms up around the ears. Breathing here. Exhale, coming into a twist, taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand back by the right hip. Gaze can come out over the right shoulder. After your exhale, we'll inhale, raising the arms back up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Back knee stays down, right leg extends, hips come back towards the heel. Breathing here. After your exhale, we'll inhale to bend back into the front knee, walking the hands forwards. Planting the left hand down inside the right foot, we'll open up the right arm to the side. If you'd like, we can take the other variation. Walking the left hand out to the side, we'll inhale, right arm comes back to grab the left foot. After your exhale, we'll inhale to release the foot. Taking both hands down around the front foot. Inhale, back knee off the ground. Exhale, back to a down dog. Breathing here. On your inhale, knees can come down onto the ground and we'll sit the hips back onto the heels, taking a breath in child's pose. On your inhale, walking the hands over to the left side of the mat, coming off the mat, we'll bring a large curve into the right side of the body. Inhaling into the right shoulder and right ribs. And after your exhale, we'll walk the hands back to the center and over to the right side of the mat, bringing the curve into the left side of the body. Inhaling into the left shoulder, left ribs. After your exhale, walking the hands back to the center. Taking a breath in child's pose, we'll move shoulders above wrists and tuck the toes. Exhale, lowering down, coming down onto the ground, palms facing up. After your exhale, we'll inhale to raise everything up, coming to a locust pose. Exhale down, taking one cheek to the mat, breathing here. Inhale, taking everything back up, coming back up, shoulders wrapping together. Exhale down, opposite cheek to the mat. Bringing hands in front of the shoulders, we'll pull the chest forward, shoulders back, coming to low cobra. Opening the chest forwards. We'll walk the hands forward a little bit more, opening up. And we'll come to a sphinx pose, elbows slightly in front of the shoulders. Exhale, coming down to the ground, right arm comes out, extended toward the side. Thumb and eye height will roll over onto that shoulder, taking the left knee up towards the ceiling, maybe taking the left arm back behind the back as if it might grab the hand on the ground. If this is a little bit too much, we can take the hand back down to the ground, just working here, feeling the stretch in the bottom shoulder. And we'll roll back onto the belly, switching sides. Left arm comes out to the side, dragging the chest to the right. Right knee can come up, maybe taking the right arm behind the back. Breathing here. Taking whatever version of the pose feels better. Know that both sides might be a little bit different. We'll roll back onto the belly. Coming onto the back, getting ready for a bridge pose. Hips close to the heels, knees pointed up. Hands palms down around the hips. Inhale, starting to curve the tailbone up. We'll come to a bridge. Exhale, rolling the spine back down. Inhale, tailbone off first, raising up to bridge. Exhale, rolling back down. Walking the shoulders farther underneath the back, we might raise up the hips, breathing here a few breaths. Can interlace fingers behind the hips on the ground. After your inhale, can unclasp the hands. Exhale, rolling the spine back down onto the ground. Pressing hands out towards the top of the thighs, Pressing hands into knees, knees into hands, taking the low back curve down to the ground, and then we'll hug the knees into the chest. Taking the left foot down onto the ground below the hips, we'll raise up the right leg, taking the footprint up towards the ceiling, hands around the back of the calf or the thigh, taking a few circles with the right foot, getting into every edge of the ankle, and switching directions, making sure to rotate on both sides. If the hips and the low back are comfortable here, we can take the right leg farther in towards the chest and stretch the left leg down the length of the mat. Breathing here. If this is comfortable, we can take the right hand to the big toe or the outside of the foot, maybe opening up the right hip to the side a little bit. Bringing it back into the middle, switching sides, taking it across the body. Coming back up to the top. Taking both knees into the chest. We'll switch sides. Taking the left leg up to the ceiling. Hands behind the calf or the thigh. Rotating the ankle. Getting into both sides. And again, if this is comfortable, we can take it closer to the face, taking the right leg down the length of the mat. Bringing the leg out to the left. Switching arms over to the right, across the body. Taking it back up to the top, hugging both knees into the chest. We'll take the left foot down onto the ground, crossing the right ankle over the top of the left thigh, pressing the right knee away. If that's comfortable, we can take the hands behind the left thigh, hugging that leg into the chest, keeping the right knee pressed away. On your exhale, taking the left foot back down onto the ground, and we'll switch sides. Right foot to the ground, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, pressing the left knee away. We can wrap the hands around the back of the right thigh if that's comfortable, hugging it into the chest, left knee still pressing away from the chest. And on your exhale, we'll take the right foot and the left back down to the ground, hugging the knees into the chest, rocking a bit from side to side and from head to tailbone. We'll rock up to a seated position, spinning around to face the front of the mat. Legs out in front, we'll take the hands behind the hips. Inhale to raise the chest. Exhale to start to walk the hands down the legs, hinging from the hips, taking the chest down towards the top of the thighs. You can bring the hands as far down the legs as you'd like, maybe to the ankles or feet. Easing with the breath, we'll inhale to come back up. Bending the right knee up towards the chest, we'll cross the left hand over the knee, opening up the right shoulder. If that's comfortable, we can take that left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and maybe taking the right foot to the opposite side of the thigh. Inhale. We'll come out of the twist, switching sides. Left knee towards the chest, taking the right hand around the knee, opening up the left shoulder, maybe right elbow to the outside of the knee, and crossing the foot if that's comfortable. After your exhale, we'll inhale to come out. Taking the soles of the feet together, taking the knees wide. Hands to the knees, shins, or down to the ankles. We'll come into a forward fold with the torso coming down between the legs. Inhale, raising the chest back up. We'll take the heels closer in towards the hips, butterfly pose, hands to the ankles or toes. And exhale to hinge from the hips, coming forwards. Inhale, we'll come up and spin around so that the feet face the back of the mat, relaxing back, taking the knees into the chest, breathing here. Hands can come to the front of both knees, taking the knees as wide or wider than the shoulders. Breathing here. With the right leg first, we can take the elbow inside the knee, hand to the outside of the foot, coming into a half happy baby. Letting the shoulder pull the knee down to the ground. We'll switch sides. Left elbow inside the knee, hand to the outside of the foot. And taking both sides if it's comfortable. Elbows inside knees, hands to the outside of the feet. Every exhale, rooting the shoulders deeper towards the ground, pulling the knees wide. On your exhale, we'll take the soles of the feet together, taking the outside edges of the feet down onto the mat, letting the knees fall wide, just like butterfly pose, only with the back on the ground. Breathing here, starting to center the breath at heart center. Taking the legs together. Taking any other poses that you'd like. Anything else that you need for your most comfortable Shavasana. Maybe knees back into the chest. Any other twists. Opening up the hips. Making sure the low back is comfortable. Doing whatever you need. When you're ready, we'll take the legs down the length of the mat, taking the feet slightly wider than the hips so that the toes can fall out to the sides. Hands can come down by the hips, palms facing up, relaxing the body into the mat. We'll close the eyes, taking the awareness of the breath into heart center, feeling the chest rise with every inhale, and feeling the space between the shoulder blades relax into the mat with every exhale. Inhale to feel where the back of the head rests. Exhale to relax the muscles of the face, the jaw, and the throat. Inhale, taking your awareness down to the back of the shoulders, feeling where they press into the mat. Taking your awareness, exhale, down the arms, feeling where the elbows, wrists, and the back of the hands rest. Bringing the breath down into the navel center, feeling the belly rise with every inhale. Exhale to feel where the hips press into the mat. Taking your breath down the legs, from the hips to the knees, the ankles, and the feet. Taking your awareness down to the tips of the toes. As you inhale, taking the breath from the tip of the toes up through the ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, up to the crown of the head. Exhale to the crown, through the shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, to the toes. Inhale from the tip of the toes up to the crown of the head. Exhale down to the tip of the toes. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the toes. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the ankles. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the knees. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the base of the spine. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to navel center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to heart center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to throat center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the point between the eyes. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the point between the eyes. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to throat center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to heart center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to navel center. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the base of the spine. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the knees. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the ankles. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the tip of the toes. Inhale to the crown. And exhale through the whole body. Taking your awareness into heart center. Inhale, feel the chest rise. Exhale, feel the body weigh into the mat, allowing the body to fully relax, focusing on just the breath for the next few moments. Starting to bring awareness back into the breath, feeling the chest rise, deepening the inhale, being aware of the fingers and the toes. We'll start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bending the ankles and the wrists, rocking the head from side to side, moving the arms and the legs, gently bringing the knees up into the chest, and we'll roll onto one side, taking a few breaths on that side, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze low. When you're ready, we'll rock up to a seated position, crossing the legs. Hands can come out to the knees or comfortably in the lap. Inhale, taking the breath up to the crown. Exhale, back down to the tailbone. Coming back to the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Know that you can take it with you off your mat, into the rest of your day, your week, however long you need it. Your breath is always with you, as is your peace. We just need to remember to come back to it. Hands can come to heart center, bowing your head to your chest, acknowledging the work that you've done for yourself, your breath, your peace, and all that you are. Namaste.